Greetings, fellow Space Marines. I'm your host, Mr. Alan D1, and for the Doom community, this is Alondo1. In today's Lessons in Level Design, we'll be going over proper enemy placement and focusing on difficulty settings as well. That each difficulty setting should have a certain feel to it. For example, the easy difficulty should be pretty much a cakewalk, as in using more low-tier enemies, less enemies, of course, having a surplus of items and resources, and just making it easy, essentially. And then medium difficulty, which is usually the difficulty that I play on all the time, because it's not too easy, not too hard, but there's a nice gradual progression in difficulty, and I find the gameplay a pleasurable experience. I mean, it's like, it keeps me on my toes, but I'm just having fun, you know? And that's really what medium difficulty is about, is just having fun. And then, of course, the hard difficulty, which is where those who actually want a challenge will play it on that difficulty. I mean, hard difficulty is where the player needs to solely rely on their skills, you know? But it has to be fair, too. It has to be fair, but it can be challenging. But, of course, I'll go over that in just a moment. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. So, as you can see on screen, I have a level that I created over the weekend to use for this demonstration. And it's a very simple, straightforward level. So, the level, for the most part, is pretty short and to the point. It's linear. You know, you have the starting point right here, if you can see my cursor on screen. You have the starting point here, you have the red door right over here, the blue door over here, the exit right over here. So the player gets the red key, goes to the red door, gets the blue key, then goes to the blue door, activates the switch that opens the exit door, which then will lead them to the exit. So, pretty straightforward. So I'm going to go into 3D mode, and I'm going to just give you a brief tour, and then I will be showing gameplay footage of it in action. So here we go on 3D mode. Alright. So this is the starting point. We have the player start right here. And the player will be facing a fair-sized lobby. A long one, of course. Now to the left you have some zombified enemies. To the right, more zombified enemies. And across the way is some shotgun shells. Now, when I do my level designs, I want to make sure that the player has multiple ways to play the level, and in this case the player could do one of a few things. They could stand their ground in this position and just pick off the enemies from here, as in kill the shotgunner first and then the pistol dudes. But while doing so, these pistol dudes will be active because of the player firing their weapon. And of course the player could still hold their position here and just pick off enemies with the pistol. They do have enough ammunition for it, by the way. Or, what the player can do is just quickly kill the shotgunner, and maybe these pistol dudes right here, grab his shotgun, grab the shells, or in fact go for the shells first, then grab a shotgun, then turn around, fire at these guys, then back at some imps which will be coming after them, and some other soldiers as well. So the player has a variety of different choices, or the player could do that and shoot this barrel, which some enemies may be already near at that time. So, when considering the layout of a level, you have to think about gameplay, where enemies should be, and what the player could do if they were to choose one way of going about it or another way. So the player has many different options of what they can do. I'm just naming some of them. So, what we have here, we have an armor up here near the blue door. We have this little lounge area. The chain gunner here only appearing on hard. And these imps here. And these guys over here. This one's hard one only. This one's medium and hard. This one's medium and hard. This one is hard. And this one's all difficulties right here. And then we have some barrels. We have a double barrel here. Some ammunition. So we have a whole bunch of stuff for the player right at the very beginning here. And then the player will go up the stairs here. Deal with some enemies. Come around the corner, they're dealing with a Hell Knight or two Hell Knights on hard difficulty, one on easy and medium. The shotgun shells here will only appear on hard because you have an extra tough guy here, which you're going to need the extra ammunition for. Grab the red key, but it's booby-trapped. This sector will lower. On medium and hard, you will deal with all three of these guys. The chain gunner will not appear on easy. You'll only be left with the shotgunners on easy. So the player will go right back to the red door, enter here, deal with these guys. 1 chain gunner for easy, 2 chain gunners for medium and hard. All these imps will appear on all difficulties. Cacodemon on medium and hard, pinkies on easy only. Then in here, you're dealing with a whole bunch of different enemies. 1 Hell Knight for easy and medium. These 2 imps here will appear on all difficulties. These guys over here, these extra imps, will only appear on hard. The shotgunners will appear on all difficulties. 2 Hell Knights on hard. And then in these teleport points right here, Pinky Demons on easy, Cacodemons on hard. And then a monster closet opens up. You got 2 chain gunners here appearing on all difficulties. And by the way, you get extra ammunition here on hard. The player grabs the blue key, which was in that area, goes to the blue door, and they have this setup. Hell Knight will appear on easy only, Baron of Hell on medium and hard, Pinky Demons only on medium and hard, 2 imps for easy, medium and hard, and the extra 2 imps, so that would be 4 imps that would be dealing with only on hard. So in here, there's a little trigger line in between these 2 points, which will then cause enemies to spawn in via teleport. This switch opens the exit door over here. Behind the exit door, we have 2 Pinky Demons, which appear on hard, 2 Barons, which appear on hard, a Cacodemon that appears only on medium, and then none of these guys on easy. And these imps only appearing on hard. Now, when the enemies are teleporting in, I have it set up accordingly. So these guys right here will be teleporting into the lobby area. These 4 imps and these 2 Pinky Demons only appear on hard. This Revenant over here only appearing on hard. This Revenant will appear on all difficulties, while this one appears only on medium and hard. So the setup would be this. Easy, only dealing with 1 Revenant, 2 Revenants for medium, 3 Revenants for hard. These Pinky Demons, all of them will appear on medium and hard. 2 of them will appear only on easy. The dozen imps right here will appear on medium and hard, and every other one of these will appear on easy. This sector is the one in which spawns enemies in that toxic waste area, and this area spawns Cacodemons in this little courtyard here. Now the Cacodemons that will be spawning, you have 2 that will appear on easy, medium, and hard, 3 which will appear on medium, and 4 which will appear on hard. Now, while that's going on, this Monster Closet 2 is triggered. And in here, we have 2 Revenants for easy, Archvile for medium and hard. And then when the player successfully deals with all these baddies, they could then proceed to the exit, but depending on what difficulty you're on, if you're on easy, you could just walk right to the exit and you're all clear. If you're on medium, you just have to deal with this giant killer tomato right here. If you're on hard, you would deal with 4 extra enemies in this area and then 3 bonus ones in this area. So that's typically it for the layout of the level. Now, as you heard me saying, on what enemies appear on what difficulties. So as I said before giving you the grand tour here, that when determining the type of enemies and the amount of enemies for the level, consider the difficulty setting. So on easy difficulty, the amount of enemies you should have on there should be pretty minimal. And also the type of enemies should be low tier for most of them, and only using mid tier here and there, and high tier sparingly. So obviously you do not want to have Archvile on easy. Okay? Only have them as maybe a boss battle, but if you're going to have the player face off against Archvile on easy mode, make sure you have an invulnerability sphere in there, or if anything, a mega sphere. You know? And also plenty of space for the player to maneuver or even to go for cover, you know? Same thing with Revenant, as in you want to apply the same thing. And I do want to mention though, with Revenant, depending on how you use him, it goes like this. On easy difficulty, it's either 1 or none with Revenant. And that's per encounter, okay? On medium, depending on the area, maximum of 2 revenants. But if it's a large enough area with plenty of room to maneuver and go for cover, you could have 3 and maybe even 4 if it's a real large area. Okay? But for medium, for a basic encounter, 2 is the max limit. And then for hard, 3 is the max limit. But as mentioned, if the area is large enough and there's plenty of room to maneuver, then you can put an extra 1 in there. Now with Archvile, I do want to just go back to him for one moment. For easy difficulty, use Archvile sparingly. He should not appear often. It should be very rare. On medium difficulty, it's 1 Archvile per encounter. And only on certain occasions you can have 2. If the area is large enough and there's a good amount of cover, then you could have 2 Archviles. But if it's not a big area, if it's like a medium-sized area, tops, 1 Archvile. Nothing more. But if you're going to use Archvile, make sure you have areas that the player could go behind for cover. And with Ultraviolence, still I recommend only using 1 Archvile at a time. But you could do 2 Archviles, but once again, you need the right environment to put them in. As long as there's plenty of cover for the player to go to, 2 Archviles would be good for Ultraviolence. And keep in mind, just like with any other enemy type, it's a very similar instance. The higher the tier the enemy, the less you should be using. But it all depends on where you're putting them and the type of sector or area that you're going to have them in. So the larger the sector or the larger the area that you'll have the enemies in, the more you can put in. Not too much. So that's pretty much it on my little rules of thumb with enemy placements there. So now let's get down to the demonstration, and I think all of you are going to enjoy it. And I will be playing it on the medium difficulty. So here we go. Well, folks, I hope all of you enjoyed that little playthrough of the level, as you can see how it looks in action and how it functions, and you got to see how a player could navigate through it. So, that's it for this episode of Lessons in Level Design. I hope all of you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit that like button, and if you haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button for more Doom-related content. I hope to do more of the Lessons in Level Design videos in the future. I'm going to try and see if I can make more time for it, but if any of you have any suggestions or ideas for a Lessons in Level Design video, please feel free to leave it in the comment section down below. I really would love to hear from all of you. So, as you know how my outros go, folks, if you're watching this during the day, I wish all of you a good day. If you're watching this during the evening, I wish all of you a good evening. I thank you all so much for watching, and I will see all of you in the next video. Take care.